As we promised, the great coach at UCLA, John Wooden, is our guest at the moment. Coach, as you watch this United States team perform, I know that you must have some concern about the condition of Bill Walton. Those bad knees look like they're going to continue to act up on him.
Well, Pat, the youngster's a great competitor, and while he had some problem with these all the time during our past season and the season before, when it came time to play, he was always ready to play. He's a real competitor.
Coach, not all young men, I'm sure you're aware, would be able to handle the kind of publicity that Bill Walton has got. The notoriety has just been staggering, I think. Just what kind of young man is he?
Well, he's an amazing young man in reality. He's an open youngster. He's more or less of an extrovert. You know exactly where he stands, and while you may not agree with him, he will not take offense to anyone disagreeing. He just likes to present his point, and he'll listen to the other side. I feel that I have a tremendous relationship with him because we understand each other. There are certain things that I expect that he will disagree, but he'll say, well, you're the boss, and we can only have one of those. So he's a very considerate person of other people for the most part, and I think he's truly sort of a humanitarian type of individual.
Bill Walton in action on the court as basketball continues after this.
Down some of the individual scoring in the first half for the United States. Lee with 2 points, Henderson with 6, McFarland with 6, Jones with 6, Carl with 2, DiGregorio, and what a game he had as the floor leader in the first half. 6 points, Nader 10, Saunders 4, Walton 6. And Bill Walton is out for the center jump for the United States against Alexander Belov. DiGregorio, Pat McFarland, Ron Behagen, and also Tom Henderson will start the second half for the United States. And that indeed is the problem here in the Los Angeles Forum. We do not have 20 minutes showing up on that scoreboard clock, so we'll keep you informed as best we can. DiGregorio to Henderson. 12 is DiGregorio. Underneath to 11. Behagen. Blocked by Belov. McFarland retaining possession. He's been all over the court. Played a fine game. Henderson to Walton. Whistle blew. Pushing foul call underneath down there.
Foul by number 8, Alexander Poloshev.
There's the clock. So as you can see, Pat, shows no time remaining. And obviously we have 19 minutes in some.
Bill
Walton was in the act of shooting, so he'll go to the line for 2 here. The United States did not miss a foul shot in the first half. Now they have.
So Bill Walton does everything else first. Why not miss our first free throw here? Boloshev was charged with that foul. That's his 3rd so far of the game. Walton makes it. The United States now leads 49-35. There's that Alexander Belov. Plays a little guard, a little forward, a little center. You never know where you're going to have to pick him up. Now it is McFarland on Belov. Now let's see. Belov goes underneath. McFarland stays right with him on a tight man-to-man. Korkia, 13. Short. Rebound. Back outside to Jarmahimedov. Traveling is called, and the United States will take over.
And now they've got the clock fixed, Brent. 18:55, I believe, is remaining, but we'll keep our eye on it to see if it's workable as the game progresses now.
We should point out that this game is also being co-sponsored by the Los Angeles Times. All the money goes into their outstanding charity fund. They provided $8 million for youth activities out here in Southern California, and today they got a fine sellout crowd in the Forum. McFarland from the key. Won't go in. Gancharov. Korkia, 13. Boloshev couldn't hold on. Behagen. DiGregorio. Watch him. He's a sleight of hand artist. This time he goes for the hoop. Behagen. Good. 51-35. Boloshev. Walton picks him up, but he doesn't go out all the way. Now McFarland switches over and picks up Boloshev. Korkia. Whistle blew. Foul is on Korkia, so the United States will take over.
Foul number 13, Mikhail Korkia.
Strange sensation, Brent. I was down. There's the clock now with 18:03. Strange sensation. I was down at courtside before the first half was over. And to hear the conversation is just sort of a weird feeling because you don't understand anything they're saying. Sort of like being in a vacuum down there.
The one thing they know how to say very well is beefsteak. They ate a lot of them in Salt Lake City and also here in Los Angeles. Henderson with the shot. Bounces out of bounds off Belov. The United States will retain possession. They come over to the side in international competition. The time they go behind that end line is after a successful field goal or free throw.
Interesting again to watch the Soviet team as they really do a good job blocking out under the basket. Watch those three men back as they work when the ball goes up on the board.
Hagen. Henderson. Tom Henderson of Hawaii and a former high school teammate at DeWitt Clinton in New York of Ron Behagen. What a team that must have been.
It really must have been. That's a great basketball school, by the way. Always has been.
We're without Doug Collins on the U.S. team. I'm sure he's watching this afternoon as Adeshko drove in. The ball is going to stay in possession of the Soviet Union. I'm sure, Pat, that Doug is watching back in Illinois. He has his ankle in a cast. Bailoff with a shot. Beautiful. There's his shot. 53-37, the United States leads. Collins injured that ankle in an all-star game. He's a friend of Bobby Douglas's, Pat. They went to the team physician of the Bears, Dr. Theodore Fox, and he said, why don't you use a cast? You're too active. So we do not have Doug Collins here today. Henderson with a shot. Hagen controlling that board. Got two taps. 55-37. Bob Cousy liked to see that. He can use Behagen at Kansas City, Omaha next year. His #1 draft choice. Sharma Hamidov with 10 points in the first half. Walton the rebound. DiGregorio. But Pat, watching this game, the United States really hasn't used that fast break like they anticipated. Bolashev blocked away by Walton.
Watch this block by Bill Walton. Watch how high above the basket he gets.
What a block. And while you're away, Henderson poured in another field goal for the United States. It is now 57-37. Bolashev. 57-39. 15:52 to go here. The only player on the floor for the United States who was in Munich is #6, Tom Henderson of Hawaii. He was our high scorer. The other four are newcomers. DiGregorio. Whistle blew. And that referee who just blew the whistle also was on the floor that day in Munich. And Pat, they say that if anyone on the United States team could have understood Portuguese, they might have been able to sort out that confusion.
And the ball game number 13, Smith Nader replacing Bill Walton.
Bill Walton relaxing on the United States bench with an ice pack comfortably tucked around his left knee, which has been bothering him throughout the game. His right knee also bandaged, but the left knee is causing the problem at the moment.
That last foul, Pat, was on Adeshko. That was his 5th. He is now out of the game. He left with 5 points. You get 5 fouls in international competition. That includes technicals, too. DiGregorio will shoot the free throws. Fouls are somewhat confusing. Let me catch you up. Goncharov has 4, so does Dvorny. Belov has 3 as DiGregorio puts in his first free throw. For the United States, Saunders of southwestern Louisiana, who started, has 4 fouls, as does the other starting forward, Bobby Jones. And DiGregorio's 2 free throws put the U.S. ahead again by 20 points, 59-39. They have led twice by that margin, 15:34 to go. The Soviets really have not been in the ball game, not since early in the first half. Goncharov. Intercepted by Henderson. Deflected back to Nader, and DiGregorio with that behind-the-back pass to Henderson led him just a little bit too much.
Yes, that was Ernie D's fault.
I imagine, Pat, many of the fans are wondering, where are those 7-foot centers that they remember not only from Munich, but certainly from Mexico City? Both of them are injured and did not make the trip with this team. There's a 7-foot center, Nader, who went up a little bit. He'll have to re-jump it. Long pass to Henderson. Blocked by Shalnev. Nice defensive play by Shalnev, who got down there on Henderson. Henderson, the United States leading scorer with 10 points. 14:38 to go. The Russians will have to get something going. The ball is batted away from Dvorny. Goncharov retrieves it back to Shalnev. Shalnev with a shot. Good. 59-41. DiGregorio. Pass to Behagen underneath. There's Nader going to the hoop. Misses. Goncharov.
Very quiet crowd.
Yes, it is. They'll come alive if the Soviets start to put on a move here. Whistle blows. Belov may have been fouled in the act of shooting that time. Yes, he was. He's going out to the free throw line.
Of all the Russians, he seems to have the best shooting touch. How do you say double foul in 4 different languages?
Belov is now coming in for the center jump. That's rather interesting. I didn't find that in the international rule book. The Soviets with control. Number 10 is Goncharov. And it bounces off his foot. Did they see it? Did he change his mind? Yes, he did. At first, Regatta was going to let the Soviets retain possession. He gave himself a little double think there and said, let's turn it over. It came off of Goncharov's foot. Carl, at the University of North Carolina, one of 2 draft choices for the New York Knicks. Di Gregorio with the long shot. Nader clearing. Di Gregorio is 12. Shalniev. Only tried to block away, couldn't. Ernie D.
Got the quick hands.
12 points. He is now our high point player. Foul is called on Ron Behagen. And for Behagen, that is his 4th personal. Belov was not fouled in the act of shooting. So the Soviets just retained possession. Boy, if you think someone's going in to get an easy basket, you can knock his head off before he turns that ball loose, Pat. Dvorny with that hook shot. 65-49, 11-47. Dvorny with 10 points. Behagen. Beautiful by George Karl. One of the smallest men on the floor at 6'3", tipped it right back in.
There's more basketball action coming up when ESPN Classic Sports Spectacular returns.
Contest is going to go to the United States. 3:44 remain, 77-61. It's not complete revenge. I guess we call it a small measure of revenge for what happened over in Munich. The crowd not too happy with the way the United States is now taking advantage of the international rules. But this is the way you play the game to win it. Swin Nader is 13. He'll put the ball up with a second remaining on the shot clock. They ran it down all the way. Di Gregorio with a rebound. And Jones with a tip in. 79-61 at 3:15. Of course, it can never really be the same as it was over in Munich. Give the Soviet Union credit. They stayed close to that United States team all the way. Put them in position to win it, even though there was that great controversy afterwards. Belov. Going to take it. Pulled away by Jones. Saunders. Di Gregorio. Looking at that clock again. 2:53. Sellout crowd in the Forum doesn't like it, but he wanted to run that shot clock down. 19 seconds to go. They've got 30 seconds in which to get it off. 2:43 remaining in the game. 79-61. You can just imagine what kind of an advantage this is in a real close game if you've got a 4 or a 5-point lead. How you use up that time. Ernie Di Gregorio is not listening to the crowd. He's going to take his orders from Kuzic. It's Greg Lee of UCLA. If the Soviets foul, there'd be no shot taken in this situation either. Remember that. The U.S. would just retain possession. Behind his back, it could go over and back. But it's picked up by the Soviets. Goncharov, number 10. Shalniev is 11. Bounces off him and also Swin Nader's foot. The Soviets will keep it. 79-61. The Soviets have got to go to work shooting it. Boleshev does. 79-63. 2:06 to go. Foul is called on Goncharov, and for Goncharov, that is his 5th foul.
One thing they do accomplish, excuse me, Brent, one thing they do accomplish by forcing the other team to foul is they reset the 30-second clock, so you get another 30 seconds. If they don't foul, obviously you've got to take a shot in 30 seconds as Ernie D sits down. George Karl has come in.
George Karl of North Carolina, number 10, plays Di Gregorio out to Jones, to Nader. Beautiful passing by the United States. Pat, who would you pick out as the outstanding players on this United States team in this defeat of the Soviet Union here this afternoon?
Well, I think you have to give a lot of credit to Bill Walton, the intimidating force that he was early in the game, but you also have to be impressed by Bob Jones, North Carolina. He's played an excellent game. So did Ron Behagen of Minnesota do an outstanding job. It would be hard to pick one outstanding individual.
And, of course, the little quarterback, Ernie DiGregorio, did a nice job for the U.S. He's out of the game right now. 103 remaining. It is 81-63. There's Nader.
Oh, my God.
Shalniev, Korkia 13, Salyumets is 5. Now, one thing, the Soviets just got to throw that ball up at the hoop. They're not used to coming off the pace like this.
Yeah, they really haven't changed their style much, despite the fact that they've been down by 16, 18 points throughout most of the second half. They still play that very deliberate, controlled type of play, as they still are right now.
A couple years ago, a Soviet national team came over here and handled a U.S. squad that included Artis Gilmore. But today, it has been a completely different story. All the U.S. Belov, fine talent. He missed on that hook shot. Nader had a finger pointed in his eye. They'll have to count. Nader is going to be walking over to the United States bench. Renato Regato, one of the officials, picked it up immediately at the far end. Swin Nader caught a finger up around the left eye as he was clearing that rebound.
This doesn't look like it's too serious.
Number 11.
Perhaps just stunned him for a moment.
Replaces Sven Nader.
Nader will get a nice hand from the crowd here in the Forum. Imagine that was quite frustrating for a player of his talent to be behind Bill Walton here at UCLA for all that time. Not going to get much better if he goes to Milwaukee either, Pat. Belov with a nice drive. 83-65. Maybe Nader can play a little forward for the Bucks next year. George Karl bringing it up. Closing seconds. The United States about to wrap it up and defeat the Soviet team as the ball goes out of bounds. 1 second shows on the clock, and no one is putting 3 seconds back on that clock this time. No. Greg Lee threw that ball up. He did that at the end of the first half. Soviet coach now is telling his players, go ahead, you take a shot from out there. Bounces off the hands of Bobby Jones.
That's the longest 1 second I've ever seen.
Can you just keep shooting it up from out of bounds without that clock moving?
I guess you can.
Finally, the clock runs out here at the Los Angeles Forum. Bob Cousy walking over to shake hands with Vladimir Kondrashin, the Soviet coach. Final score, the United States 83 and the Soviet Union 65.